what doesn't kills you makes you stronger. So वो broken factor बहुत जरूरी है. I feel. You don't have to say words. Your actions will speak, and nobody has to give any sort of validation. अगर आपको लॉन्च होना है तो आपको लीड कैरेक्टर ही मिलना चाहिए, या यू हैव टू रियली वेट इट आउट. और अगर आपने फ्रेंड का रोल किया या दूसरा कोई रोल किया तो आपकी इम्पोर्टेंस कम हो जाएगी. I like how your expression just went. Yeah. So it's basically
yeah, exactly. Hi everyone. So in this episode of Let's Reveal, we are having Tanvi Shinde with us, who was last seen in the popular series Broken but Beautiful Season 3 and played the character of Rumi's best friend. So in this episode, we will be asking her questions about her confession for this showbiz industry, her working experience with Siddharth Shukla, and her broken story. So hi Tanvi. My first question for you is, tell us about your struggle. क्या journey रही आपकी in this entertainment industry?
So basically, it's been about 7 years now. 7 साल हो गए. I moved from the States. I've grown up in Texas, Dallas, Texas. और अभी 7 साल हो गए. I've been at it almost every single day. I completed my degree here. I've completed advertising, and I wanted to start early. The reason I moved to Bombay is because I wanted to get a head start and get to know the environment, how people are, how you do things, because I was completely clueless of how to, approach कि किस तरह audition देनी है, किसको जाके मिलना है, कैसे there's no such caved path or a particular formula as such. तो वो जानने के लिए I needed to be here. I needed to be physically here and understand and get to know. So in the initial 3 or 5 years, it was very, very crazy for me. Then raat I used to, almost after college, I would my mama, she used to come with me. हम लोग जाते थे आराम नगर auditions के लिए, mainly like ad auditions. And then I remember she would sit outside garmi mein, she would be playing games on her phone while I'm auditioning inside. So these were the initial days jahan almost 5-6 घंटा I used to spend in like audition rooms to give auditions, to get to know more people and understand how the whole process works. So the first 3 years were just about that, and I was landing ads. I was doing some chota mota roles in काम for the ad world. But then came a saturation point. जब लगा कि नहीं अभी कुछ और करना है. I want something more from life. And I think the minute you kind of decide upon yourself, those things end up working out for you, or you start working towards them. So ये हुआ मेरे साथ. I always believed in the process, and luckily I'm very fortunate कि मेरे माँ बाप दोनों भी बहुत ज़्यादा supportive है. मेरे dad creative director, he's a commercial artist from JJ School of Arts. So उन्हें ad world का काफी सारा knowledge है. He knows what is the right thing to do, what is not. So उनकी guidance से definitely I got a lot of understanding of the industry, the ad industry. So that's where I began, because that was somewhat my comfort zone, because मुझे उसके बारे में जानकारी थी due to my dad. But there were no such contacts, though he had certain people who he believed कि ठीक है अगर तन्वी जाएगी auditions देगी या कोई role land करेगी, she has people to kind of be around and be protected and all of that. So in the back of the head, the subconscious mind is just relaxed. But at the end of the day, I remember I told him that, listen, you're not going to give me any contacts, so you're not going to call up anyone, because I was somebody who believed in, I didn't like the fact that कि मैं कोई set पे हूँ जहाँ पर I'm not wanted or not needed, or I don't have the capabilities of to be there, but it's just because somebody has called up for me and said, इन्हें ले लो या इन्हें please एक role. So I felt like begging is just not my cup of tea. I would hate to be, that's something that cringes me, So because of that, because I didn't take that path, or because I didn't use my dad's contacts, as they call it, I tended to go quite slower compared to how it would have gone for me. So the time duration was much longer to where I have gotten now, which was in the 7 years. I did ads, I did a couple of regional films, and then I've done 3 series now, and there's more coming. Lekin the struggle is this, that one was my language because I had an accent.
Yeah.
So उसे overcome करना, thankfully my mama, she served as a teacher, तो उनकी हिंदी her diction is really nice. So she would always correct me. I remember going to Marathi auditions as well. तभी तो मुझे पढ़ने भी नहीं आता था. So she would speak it, and then I would be like on the phone writing it in English. So these were the struggles, little things that added up. Then the other struggle was to I would always get shortlisted, but uske it would not go beyond that. वहीं पे you start feeling कि stuck हो रहा है, क्यों नहीं हो रहा है. So these struggles, and then you start to self doubt yourself. So I think that self doubt period जो था मेरे लिए काफी taunting था. It was I think most actors would relate to this. You get to a point of saturation कि क्यों नहीं हो रहा है, मैं इतना कर रही हूँ, या मैंने मेरे सारे efforts डाल लिए, I have done my level best, but क्यों नहीं हो रहा. So then I later realized, when I had joined casting for a bit with Apur Singh Rathod for Section 375, I was assisting with him while I was auditioning. That's when I got to know and I got to learn that it's not always about the actor. There's a lot that goes behind. काफी बार तुम्हारा look नहीं जाता है, कभी वो age category होता है, या they just have many other reasons for it. तो it's important to understand कि अगर आपको नहीं मिल रहा है वो job, या वो requirement you're not fulfilling, that is not because of you. It is because of a lot of other things and a lot of other things. So these little struggles that have added up, and the knowledge that you get from these struggles, are just priceless. So I wouldn't call it struggles. I like calling it a process.
Nice, very nice. Okay, so being a part of Broken But Beautiful season 3. So what is your broken story, which you have never talked about yet?
My broken story. See, there's so much. I especially feel like in like the youth years, when you're like really reckless, and like you feel like you're in love, and you feel like this is what life is all about. But I think those days kind of teach you. That song by Kelly Clarkson was my favorite, and it's still my favorite, where she goes, what doesn't kills you makes you stronger. So I think these you know what I mean, right? It's like those bad days that you have, or when somebody makes you feel like absolute you're not worth anything. So those days, you take those days, and I know for a fact that every time I've felt that, I've come out like a new person. Every time I have gotten pushed around by, may it be my peers or my friends or anybody. So ये जो broken part रहता है हमारे side में, that broken part really that actually fixes us and makes us more of a person that we deserve to be, or it's an improvement. It's a process of improvement. So वो broken factor बहुत ज़रूरी है, I feel. So yes, but then that is also somewhere important. It's not the best way to improve yourself, but those you have to understand and tell your mind that is not what they're saying, is not you. But if that's what they feel, even the slightest, then you need to get your game up, और उसके ऊपर काम करके आप इतना आपको बेहतर बना लो कि there's no room for any sort of judgments, or even if those comments are passed, you don't have to explain them or say ki this is why you don't have to say words. Your actions will speak, and nobody has to give any sort of validation. So the broken part is very important in life in general.
Okay, amazing. So my next question is, ऐसा हमारी इंडस्ट्री में हम देख रहे हैं कि एक कोई भी प्रोजेक्ट है उसके पीछे बहुत सारे आर्टिस्ट होते हैं, नॉट ओनली द लीड रोल्स बट जो साइड रोल्स में भी हैं वो भी. But there is a part where every role is not so much recognized apart from the lead roles. So what is your take on that?
Yeah, I guess things have changed a lot in the past couple of years. I remember जब मैंने शुरुआत की थी for my career, तभी मेरे दिमाग में ये था, I'm speaking for myself and the thoughts I've had to myself. because the situation was such, or the way the process of this industry was such, that you were एक pre notion था कि, अगर आपको launch होना है तो आपको lead character ही मिलना चाहिए, या you have to really wait it out, और अगर आपने फ्रेंड का रोल किया या दूसरा कोई रोल किया तो आपकी इम्पोर्टेंस कम हो जाएगी. एंड समवेयर कहीं ना कहीं अंदर मुझे लगता था कि नो, मुझे अगर कोई भी रोल मिल जाए तो मैं उससे जितना जितना I can put into that role and get something out of it, is I believed in connecting dots. So that's how I've come where I have come. Those dots always connected for me, and I used to be happy at the slightest of job that I used to get. I remember initially I'd hesitate to take up the part ki, ye negative character hai, what if this, and that was my very first OTT platform ka, that was my release. So I remember a lot of people were a little like taken back at the fact कि मैंने ये decision कैसे लिया, and a lot of people also patted my back for going ahead with it. So I think it just feels right to you. There's a gut feeling कि नहीं ये मेरे लिए है, and I will be able to. The reason I took it up because there was two contrasting sides to it, so I was able to show that scope of the shades of that character. तो that वो बहुत exciting था मेरे लिए, इसलिए मैंने I picked that character up. I didn't think कि वो lead नहीं है. It's still a parallel lead. It's equally important to the story.
Yeah. Okay. So, any confessions would you like to make about our showbiz industry?
Oh,
anything what comes in your mind?
The first thing that comes up in my mind is just this whole social media craziness that's happening right now. I like how your expression just went, yeah. So it's basically,
exactly.
I mean, it does exist. I was in denial for the longest of time. This is not how it is. But it's sad. It's a sad truth right now because there's a pro side and there's a con side to it. Ki actors को या artists को अपने social media numbers पे काम करने पड़ रहा है to get work. So initially थोड़ा सा to wrap our heads around it was a little difficult. लेकिन it is important. I can understand why the numbers can play a big role, especially being in a showbiz and an industry where money is all about numbers. तो अगर उन्हें वो numbers दिख रहे हैं तो technically speaking it's right, but it can get a little sad for those who don't know how to work it and they don't know how to go about it, but they are talented. So I know I've been there. I was active, but I didn't know कि अच्छा मुझे ये डालना है, and I wasn't very like particular about ye time pe I have to do this and do that and like plan it out, and so that's not me. For me
timing ka aur wo
and it was like I like at this point in the past almost this whole pandemic, I think I've learned so much about social media that I now go and give tips and people ask me, Tanvi, how do you do this? And I said, I don't know how I know all this, but I apparently do. Like, and it's like you have to go with the flow, and agar wo cheez ki abhi zarurat hai to hai, and you really can't do anything. But yeah, that's a confession. It's a sad truth of life, and we have to go with it.
Yeah, exactly. So, okay, how was your experience working with Sidharth Shukla, or what all you have learned from him? Like, he's a senior actor, so होता है एक butterflies होते हैं कि okay, Sidharth Shukla is I'm going to share this scene with him. So what was your experience?
Honestly, maybe this could be a confession that I had not seen Big Boss when he had won that season. Yeah, I had not. Okay. I'm not somebody who watches Big Boss so actively. I had maybe seen like an episode or two when मेरी family देखती होगी या ऐसा कुछ, and I've heard through social media या friends के through. I was aware of him, of course. I was aware of him. I knew his work that he's done. He's been part of movies and shows and has it's a huge fan base. So knowing the fact that somebody that big and you're going to be being around them, I honestly don't get like easily shaken or like frozen by, say, like big entities or actors. I feel like they're equally human to me. But yes, there's this star-stuck thing that happens when they actually are in front of you, or when they're performing. For me, it's more जब वो perform कर रहे होते हैं और उनके साथ you have to share a certain uh, uh, lines, and you're sharing the screen, then you really have to because you don't know their process, or you don't know कि अभी वो क्या करने वाले हैं या उनका reaction क्या होने वाला है. So it's all spontaneous, and that is when I would tend to feel a little, like a little scared, and like I wouldn't know what to do, and I would overthink it, but then it would go well. So those nerves, वो अच्छे थे मेरे लिए. And he was very comforting, extremely comforting with all the actors. Always fun goofing around, messing around when the camera wasn't rolling. I remember the very first time I just had an eye contact and he got to know I'm playing Winnie. He walked up to me, talked, had a really chilled conversation, and made sure that I was not like, intimidated by him. So I think वो बहुत सीखने लायक है, that when somebody that big who's worked so much comes to you, and you're playing, like they say, just a friend's role, but that does matter. They that's the respect that you get from your main actors or your leads. That they make you feel like, okay, this is one whole picture. We're not like individuals, लेकिन हम एक family है. So that he's very warm and very welcoming.
Amazing. So अगर आप एक्टर नहीं होते तो आप और क्या होते? कुछ और कुछ सोचा था? कुछ anything else?
So like I said, I've completed advertising. So I could see myself working at an agency or just running my dad's agency, which I still help him even at this point of time. But besides that, I think I would. I had thought of becoming a psychologist because I love psychology, and I also, I love reading about it or talking about it, or so a lot of spiritual stuff. So yeah, I could see myself being a psychologist.
Amazing. Okay, so my last question is, where do you see yourself in the next 5 years?
So much. I like to take things one day at a time, to be very honest. I had never thought that I would be here talking to you about two of my shows or three of my shows. But in general, like maybe I'll be in movies at that time or doing some really amazing cool stuff.
And we will be
especially
cheering up
movies.
you.
Yes. yes. Hopefully.
Sure. Amazing. Really amazing. It was nice talking to you.
Same here. Thank you for having me.
Thank you so much. Thanks for joining us.
Yes. Hope you have a lovely evening. Take care.
Bye-bye. Take care.
Bye.
It was lovely talking with her. I hope everyone liked this video. So do not forget to like, share, subscribe our channel and share this video. Thank you so much. Stay tuned.